As you get older, there's a silent shift happening in your body, and it begins in your legs. Long before you feel weak, long before you notice yourself walking slower or holding on to handrails, your leg strength starts to decline. And when it does, everything begins to change. You lose a bit of control. Your balance starts to fade. And for too many seniors, this ends with a life-altering fall, the number one cause of traumatic death and disability in older adults. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be that way. You can protect your legs, your balance, and your independence with just a few small but powerful lifestyle changes. And one of the biggest keys? Knowing what foods to avoid. Hello, health-conscious friends. Today, we're going to expose the 5 worst fruits you might be eating every day, the very ones that could be slowly destroying your leg strength without you even realizing it. I felt compelled to do this video because there's so much misleading advice out there. Some of it sounds healthy, but it's harming people. Let's cut through the noise and get to what truly matters for your strength, stability, and long-term freedom. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. The hidden danger: weakening your legs. As we grow older, there is a quiet but profound truth that many of us overlook until it's too late. Our legs, the very foundation of our independence, begin to weaken before we even notice it. This silent decline doesn't announce itself with pain or warning, but it slowly chips away at our balance, our coordination, and eventually our freedom. What begins as a minor hesitation when standing up from a chair can, over time, lead to devastating consequences: a fall, a fractured hip, months of immobility, or worse. For millions of older adults, one fall marks the beginning of a tragic decline. And yet, it doesn't have to be this way. What many seniors don't realize is that leg strength is not just about muscles. It's about everything that supports those muscles: the nervous system, circulation, energy metabolism, inflammation control, and even brain health. Every time we move, signals must travel between the brain and the body. Our legs respond to those signals, but only if they're getting the right fuel, the right support, and the right care. And while exercise plays a vital role in keeping legs strong, what we eat is just as important, or sit. In fact, it may be the determining factor in whether our muscles build or break down. This is where a painful misunderstanding often creeps in, especially around fruit. We've been taught for decades that fruit is always healthy. It's colorful, natural, sweet, from nature, and surely it must be good for us. But the truth is more complicated, especially for aging bodies. Many fruits, particularly the ones we consume in large quantities today, have been cultivated for sweetness and shelf life, not for balance or nutritional depth. They are often loaded with natural sugars, particularly fructose, that while harmless in youth, can wreak havoc on an aging metabolism. In seniors, excess sugar, even from fruit, drives inflammation, insulin resistance, and fat accumulation, especially around the liver and abdomen. It also disrupts the very neural and muscular pathways that keep us stable. Some fruits spike blood sugar so rapidly that the body becomes inflamed and confused, unable to coordinate its movements or maintain muscle tone. Others interfere with gut health, which in turn affects brain function and coordination. And all of this happens behind the scenes until one day, walking becomes a chore and standing up feels risky. That's why understanding which fruits can harm, not help, is essential. Not all fruits are the enemy, but some are particularly dangerous for seniors trying to preserve leg strength, balance, and vitality. So, what are the fruits you should think twice about before putting in your grocery cart? Here are the top 5 worst offenders that could be silently destroying your leg strength and what to eat instead. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now, let's move on to point number 2. 2. Grapes, the sweetest threat to your strength. Among all the fruits we so often reach for in the grocery store or place proudly on the table for guests, grapes hold a special place. They're small, easy to snack on, and feel harmless. But for seniors, especially those concerned about strength, stability, and longevity, grapes can quietly become one of the most damaging choices. Here's why. Despite their innocent appearance, grapes are essentially little sugar bombs. A single cup of grapes contains over 20 grams of natural sugar, most of which is fructose. While fructose sounds less threatening than table sugar, in the aging body it tells a very different story. Fructose is processed in the liver, and unlike glucose, it doesn't trigger insulin in the same way. Instead, it tends to promote fat buildup in the liver, which contributes to metabolic dysfunction, chronic inflammation, and even loss of lean muscle mass. But the real danger for older adults lies beyond metabolism. It lies in how sugar impacts the nervous system and muscular control. High sugar fruits like grapes spike blood sugar quickly, especially when eaten alone or between meals. This surge leads to a crash, not just in energy, but in neural clarity. The brain becomes foggy, signaling becomes slower, and muscles begin to respond less efficiently to movement commands. In short, your legs, which depend on quick, clear, and coordinated neural input, stop functioning like they used to. On top of that, grapes contain almost no fiber, meaning the sugars absorb rapidly, unbuffered. That rush into your bloodstream stresses your system each time you snack on a handful. If you're already managing prediabetes, insulin resistance, or just trying to preserve your independence, grapes could be working against you far more than you know. And let's not forget grape derived products, raisins, grape juice, even some natural fruit snacks. All of these concentrate the sugars even further while removing almost all of the hydration and fiber. What was once a snack becomes a metabolic grenade, especially for a body already fighting inflammation and muscle breakdown. It's hard to believe that something so sweet, so familiar, could pose such a risk. But it's the comfort foods we don't question that often do the most harm, especially in the long term. So if grapes are on your daily plate, it might be time to rethink that habit. But grapes aren't the only hidden threat. In fact, the next fruit on this list is something nearly every senior eats for convenience. Yet, it may be silently draining your leg power every single day. 3. Ripe bananas, the friendly fruit that silently weakens you. For many older adults, ripe bananas are a daily habit, quick, soft, easy to chew, and seemingly harmless. They're often viewed as the perfect snack for seniors. No preparation needed, naturally sweet, and full of potassium. But behind this friendly facade, ripe bananas may be quietly working against one of your most precious assets, your leg strength. The issue lies not in the banana itself, but in what happens to your body when you eat one that's overripe and sugary. As bananas ripen, their starch converts into sugar, quickly digestible and rapidly absorbed. A medium ripe banana contains around 27 grams of carbohydrates, including over 14 grams of sugar. For a younger, metabolically active person, that sugar is quickly burned. But in older adults, particularly those who are less active or insulin resistant, that sugar spikes blood glucose levels fast and then crashes them just as quickly. This sharp rise and fall doesn't just make you feel tired. It has direct consequences for your muscles and nervous system. When blood sugar fluctuates wildly, the body shifts its focus towards stabilizing energy rather than building or repairing tissue. Over time, this means less protein synthesis, slower muscle recovery, and weaker muscular responses. You may not feel the effect right away, but day after day, your legs will carry you just a little less steadily. Even more concerning is the impact on your neuromuscular coordination. Muscles, including those in your legs, don't move on their own. They respond to electrical signals sent from your brain through your nervous system. But high sugar foods like ripe bananas promote inflammation, particularly neuroinflammation, which slows down those signals. The result? You move more slowly. Your reaction time declines. Your balance slips. None of this is to say that bananas are evil, but for a senior trying to stay mobile, independent, and strong, a daily ripe banana might be silently sabotaging your progress. If you do enjoy them, consider choosing greener, less ripe bananas with more resistant starch and lower sugar content. And always pair them with protein or healthy fat to balance their effect. But what if there's a fruit that looks exotic and nutritious, yet delivers nearly triple the sugar hit and directly fuels fat storage and inflammation in your legs? Up next, we'll expose a tropical favorite that may be one of the most misleading health foods for older adults. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now, let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Mangoes, the tropical temptation that betrays your muscles. There's something irresistible about a ripe golden mango. Its lush sweetness, smooth texture, and tropical aroma often feel like nature's dessert, a luxurious reward that seems both indulgent and healthy. For many seniors, mangoes are associated with vitality, sunshine, and natural nourishment. But behind that bright, cheerful taste lies a powerful metabolic trap, one that gradually erodes muscle strength and contributes to leg weakness in ways that are rarely discussed. The danger of mangoes isn't just that they're sweet, it's how concentrated that sweetness is and how your aging body processes it. A single medium mango can contain over 45 grams of sugar, more than 11 teaspoons, and most of it in the form of fructose. In small amounts, fructose can be managed, but when consumed in high doses, especially by seniors with slower metabolisms, it creates a dangerous storm inside the body. Fructose doesn't raise blood sugar directly like glucose, but instead, it's processed almost entirely in the liver. This overload leads to the production of fat in the liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a condition that is strongly tied to chronic inflammation, muscle breakdown, and reduced insulin sensitivity. This matters greatly for your legs. Muscles rely on clear insulin signaling and efficient energy metabolism to repair, grow, and stay responsive. When that system is inflamed or dysfunctional, as it becomes with frequent high fructose intake, the muscles in your lower body begin to weaken. You may feel more fatigue when walking, stiffness when rising from a chair, or even mild tremors when trying to steady yourself. These signs can often be traced back to internal imbalances that high sugar fruits like mango silently worsen. Moreover, mangoes, despite their colorful nutrients, are low in fiber relative to their sugar content. That means the sugar hits your bloodstream quickly, further straining your body's ability to regulate energy and maintain muscular coordination. For seniors already battling age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, a regular habit of mango consumption can tip the balance even faster toward weakness and instability. Of course, enjoying a slice of mango occasionally won't destroy your health, but making it a regular part of your diet, especially without balancing it with protein or fat, can erode the very foundation of your mobility over time. Still, if you think mangoes are sweet trouble, Wait until you hear about the next item. A common beverage disguised as healthy, but acting more like a stealth sugar delivery system that can quietly devastate your legs from the inside out. 5. Packaged fruit juices. The disguised danger in a glass. For decades, fruit juice has been promoted as the epitome of a healthy choice. Bright, colorful, labeled with words like 100% natural or no added sugar. For many seniors, it's even part of a daily routine. A small glass of orange juice with breakfast or a mid-morning cup of apple juice to keep energy up. It feels comforting, familiar, and wholesome. But the truth is far more unsettling. Packaged fruit juices may be one of the most deceptive threats to leg strength and overall vitality for older adults. When you drink a glass of packaged juice, you're consuming the sugar of several fruits without any of the fiber. Take apple juice, for example. A single cup can contain 25-30 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 6 or 7 teaspoons, and it's absorbed rapidly. Unlike whole fruits, juice doesn't come with fiber to slow digestion or regulate the release of sugar into the bloodstream. That means your blood sugar spikes hard, and so does your insulin, triggering a cascade of metabolic stress. But this isn't just about sugar highs and crashes. High glycemic loads like those from fruit juices promote inflammation deep in the body, including in the muscle tissues and nervous system. That inflammation subtly degrades the neuromuscular connection, making your legs respond more slowly, less precisely, and with less power. The coordination you once took for granted starts to slip, not because your body is failing, but because it's being sabotaged from within. Worse yet, these juices often come pasteurized, processed, and stripped of most of their natural nutrients. What remains is mostly concentrated fructose, which, as discussed before, is primarily processed by the liver and contributes to fat buildup, insulin resistance, and eventually sarcopenia. The result? A steady decline in muscle integrity and leg function that feels gradual, but is deeply rooted in daily choices like that innocent-looking juice bottle. It's painful to realize that something marketed so aggressively as healthy can be part of what's stealing your independence, one sip at a time. And even juices with no sugar added are not exempt, because the naturally occurring sugar is already more than your aging body can comfortably handle. But if juice is a silent saboteur, final fruit on this list may surprise you most, because while it's often touted for its anti-inflammatory powers, its hidden sugars and acids could be quietly inflaming your joints, stiffening your movement, and speeding up leg muscle fatigue faster than you'd ever expect. 6. Pineapple, the acidic culprit hiding behind a golden glow. It's hard not to love pineapple. Its tropical flavor, juicy texture, and bright color seem to promise health and vitality in every bite. For many seniors, pineapple feels like a refreshing treat, light, natural, and even beneficial, especially since it's often praised for containing bromelain, an enzyme known to aid digestion and reduce inflammation. But behind that golden glow lies a truth that's rarely talked about. Pineapple, while appealing on the surface, can quietly work against your leg strength, joint health, and muscular coordination. A single cup of pineapple contains around 16 grams of sugar, much of it in the form of rapidly absorbed simple sugar. And unlike berries or apples, pineapple has a high glycemic index, meaning it causes a sharp spike in blood sugar levels. For an older adult, especially one with insulin sensitivity or prediabetes, even undiagnosed, this creates a metabolic surge that leads to inflammations, and not just anywhere, but in the very areas that determine balance and mobility, the joints, muscles, and nerves. But pineapple's impact isn't limited to sugar alone, it's also highly acidic. While the body can often handle acidity in youth, Many older adults develop sensitive joints, mild arthritis, or gastrointestinal imbalances that are aggravated by acidic foods. The result? You may feel more joint stiffness, swelling in the knees or hips, or even general achiness after eating pineapple regularly, especially if your diet already includes other sources of sugar or refined carbohydrates. This matters because pain directly reduces muscle activation. When joints hurt, the body naturally suppresses movement in that area, meaning your legs may stop engaging fully even when you try to walk, exercise, or climb stairs. Over time, this underuse leads to further muscle atrophy, especially in the fast twitch muscle fibers most responsible for stability and quick reactions. Of course, pineapple has some redeeming qualities. Bromelain can help digestion and may even reduce minor swelling in some individuals. But those benefits are often offset by the sugar load, acidity, and inflammatory cascade that affects seniors much more than younger adults. What feels like a healthy treat may actually be undermining the very mobility and independence you're trying to protect. But here's the good news. Now that you know which fruits may be hurting your legs, it's time to shift the focus toward the ones that truly support your strength, coordination, and vitality. Coming up next, the top fruits that every senior should be eating regularly, and why they may be your best defense against falls, fatigue, and functional decline. 7. Keeping your legs strong is keeping your life long. Throughout our lives, the legs are often the quietest part of our body. They carry us through decades without complaint, until one day they begin to falter. And when they do, they rarely go alone. Along with weak legs comes a loss of balance, confidence, independence, and most profoundly, the freedom to live life on your own terms. What many don't realize is that the strength of your legs is directly tied to the length and quality of your life, not just in years, but in moments lived with dignity and self-sufficiency. Leg health isn't only about muscle. It reflects the harmony of multiple vital systems: your nervous system, circulation, joints, metabolism, and even your cognitive function. Each step you take is a symphony of signals between brain and body, requiring not just physical energy, but sharp coordination and healthy communication through nerves and tissues. When we lose the strength in our legs, we begin to lose access to the world around us, and worse, to the world within us. The risk of falls rises, movement decreases, the brain gets fewer signals, and vitality fades. This is why the decline of leg strength is often the first quiet step toward overall decline. But here's the truth. It's not too late. The human body, even in its later years, responds remarkably to care, to better nutrition, to movement, and to purpose. Every choice you make today, what you eat, how you move, what you believe about your body, has the power to shape how well and how long you live. Your legs are not just limbs, they are your foundation. And when you protect that foundation, you are not just preserving mobility, you are preserving life itself. Now, let's take a closer look at the unexpected fruits that may be threatening that foundation and what you can do instead. A final word for seniors: strength is still within your reach. At a certain point in life, many older adults begin to quietly accept physical decline as inevitable. The slower steps, the unsteady footing, the lost energy. But this silent resignation is not only unnecessary, it can be dangerous. The truth is, your body is still listening. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, the human body is capable of healing, strengthening, and restoring itself if you give it the right signals, the right nourishment, and the right care. Your legs are not just limbs, they are symbols of freedom. They carry you to the people you love, help you maintain independence, and allow you to live with dignity. But they also depend on you. Neglecting the health of your legs means risking more than just weakness. It means risking your identity, your autonomy, and your quality of life. And while movement and physical activity remain essential, it's what you feed your body daily that determines whether you rebuild strength or lose it. The myth that all fruit is good must be challenged, especially in the context of aging. Some fruits, though natural, act like refined sugar inside the body, quietly undermining your energy, inflaming your joints, disturbing your nerves, and contributing to the very decline so many fear. But hope remains, and it starts with awareness. The small changes you make today can shape the next decade of your life. Choose foods that reduce inflammation, fuel your muscles, and support brain to body communication. Listen to what your body has been telling you, not with frustration, but with compassion and curiosity. Aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean refinement, wisdom, and clarity. And yes, even strength, especially strength. Now, let's uncover the 5 specific fruits that might be quietly sabotaging your efforts, and learn what to replace them with to keep your legs strong and your balance steady. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.